Hello, everyone, and welcome to Every Day is Draft Day. I am your host, Dan Turner, a very sad human being right now. Joining me, as always, who's probably slightly happier at this point, Steffi Smalls. How are you, Steph?
Well, I was cracking up at the title of this show. I'll tell you
Yes,
that much.
I thought you'd enjoy that.
I didn't know that Reagor was actually on the New York Giants. Who knew? Not me. I didn't see him
I
on our
almost wish
staff.
he was. Almost wish he was. That's the only explanation.
Yeah. Do you want to tell everyone what happened? They could probably figure it out at Eagle Dan FF. I think I'm gonna change my handle to at Giant Steffi FF.
There you go. That's perfect. You should do that. That'd be hilarious. I would be laughing. No, it just Rager can't had two game-winning catches and dropped both of them.
Yeah.
And the
And
second
to
one,
be fair, the past like 4 games, the Giants' secondary has been really improving too. So with Hurts playing the way he did, with Rager playing the way he did, it was really a recipe for disaster. Like for the Eagles, I think that had those guys been playing a little bit more of their A game. I don't know that Rager has an A game in him, but the Giants' secondary looked fantastic because we would have lost that game
I would
without
have taken
them.
a D game. I just needed one catch from a first-round
Yeah,
wide
it's
receiver.
true.
Just one,
You're
one
asking a
catch.
lot of him.
I am. I'm asking a lot of someone that gets paid $1 million to make a catch that I could make in a
Yeah.
direct league
Yeah.
game.
It's like Aguilar 2.0, which is fun, right?
Not even because even Nelson did good during the Super Bowl run. So
Yeah.
I mean, you can't even say that. Rieger has done absolutely nothing since we drafted him. Nothing. Anyway,
You hate
so
to
we have a
see
lot
it.
of stuff to talk about. Some more injuries piling up, of course. We have CMC done for the year. Dalvin Cook's probably out for a couple weeks. Debo's going to be out for a couple weeks, and Zeke's probably going to be sitting for a couple weeks to rest his injuries. So with that being said, pretty much every first round running back at this point is either hurt, resting, or is just plain gone. Uh, at this point, what can we do? What is there to do? Is fantasy even fun right now?
No, no one's having fun. No, I'm having fun. I don't know about some of these leagues. Some of them, it's like, and then you get a Debo injury, and it's like, come on, like you already took like X and Y away from me. Don't take Z also. Like, give me a break. Someone throw me a bone. But I think that the zero RB people are very happy right now. The James Conner
Me.
truthers like myself, very happy right now because we were maybe in a better situation to be prepared for some of these guys to go out on injuries. And I think that we're going to see a shift in fantasy in general because you can't rely on running backs anymore. The way that the league is moving, the way that they use these players, they're getting used and abused, and they don't last the whole season. I think Mike Clay is someone I like his projections on the season because I think he doesn't count it. I want to say 3 weeks. He doesn't count them in. He gives them 3 weeks of injuries to add into their projections because that's the way it kind of should be. And it just they get banged up too much, and hopefully you had those handcuffs because I know like some people stash them and you're not gonna find Madison, you're not gonna find Chuba. Abdullah is an interesting name to look
Mhm.
into because he was getting a lot of touches. It really depends on your league for what's available.
Right. Yeah, I figure. I mean, honestly, at this point, if you have either of Cooper Cup or Jonathan Taylor or both, you're pretty much winning the championship with everyone else going down around them at this point. I think as a zero running back guy, I never want to be like the I was right because of injury because that's not why I like being zero running back. I just think that this season has just been like the worst season I think any of us have ever seen in terms of high profile, high pick players
Yeah.
just getting hurt and getting hurt for long periods of time, like for the year. Like even Kamara's been out for 3 straight games now. Who knows when
Right.
he's coming back? So it's just with the most first round running backs, if not all of them, missing time. I just think that not going running back in the future is the way to go. Like you
And
said, like
also,
there's
on top of
God.
that too, and people, I caught a lot of slack for, and I won't get too into it. It's just I did not have CMC as my 101. And that's not because I'm downplaying CMC's talent or I'm predicting an injury or anything else by that matter. I'm looking at the fact that he has a past medical history on a team that's going to use him a lot. And the running back position, this is what we get. We get players that get hurt quicker than the other positions because they're the highlight of these teams. So you have to be careful with what you're doing in the those early picks, and you gotta you get lucky if you did a Jonathan Taylor early on. Maybe that's a case where also he's not he is the highlight of the team and not at the same time. So it's very team dependent, and moving forward, I think. I'm very happy that I didn't end up going very RB heavy in the beginning. I really end up shooting for like some tight ends where I hold off on running back as fast as far as I can.
No, yeah, I agree. I think especially running backs going on their second contracts, they get those big deals, and their bodies just can't hold up. I mean, for a while now, it seems that besides DJ Moore, I mean, McCaffrey's been Carolina's offense for a couple of years now, and the human body just can't take that kind of abuse over that long period of time. The same thing would happen with Zeke. Zeke's was pretty much running to the ground. Yeah, he's still good, but he's like dealing with a lot more injuries now. He's not the same as he was. So even though he's playing, he's not giving you the kind of production that you expect a couple of years ago. So I just think going with going with a Kelsey that's had top 2 finishes for the past like 17,000 years. Get that guaranteed production that is going to be there. Is why I prefer going away from running back in the early rounds. I prefer.
And there's always these like waiver darlings too that at the end of the day, if you can be on your shit and like pay attention to what's trending and who's getting injured, like you can get by just fine. I mean, if you had like Tony P, you had James Conner, like you have Madison, like you have these guys, you're still getting by. Yeah. You can make an argument for all of them. Chuba Hubbard, someone that surfaced in the middle. So there's always, even Wayne Gallman, you could use him for 1 week. Devontae Freeman. No, don't tell me you drafted Devontae Freeman. You didn't draft Devontae Freeman. So there's always someone there. There's always an option.
Yeah, exactly. And even just this past week, if you played like Dontrell Hilliard, he got you like 20 points. So there's always like the guys around that you can plug and play. Or even like Matt Breida or someone like that to get you the
Matt Breida, another one.
Right, yeah. If you get that elite production from your receivers and you can get by with running back, I'd rather do that than the reverse, where I have to rely on a 20-point game for a running back that might not be healthy and then get by with receivers. I'd rather do the receivers first, personally.
Right.
All right, moving on. We have our couple of contests to go look forward to for our wonderful, wonderful fans. First one is a cool Russell Wilson full-sized helmet. Basically, you have to go on Instagram, like the post this show will be on, tag 2 Seahawks fans in the comments, watch this episode, and find the hidden Easter egg phrase in the video, which is going to be right now. The key phrase for this week is Mr. Unlimited.
Unlimited what?
Unlimited losses, apparently. That's what we're talking about here. Unlimited, I'm going to another team next year. Goodbye.
Yeah, boy. I wonder if there's enough Seahawks fans left to tag. I guess we're about to find out.
Yep, it'll be interesting. So the giveaway will be on Friday. So just, as always, put that key phrase in. Watch out for Instagram. Also, Steph and I will be going to a couple of football games. Steph is going this week to Vikings Detroit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes,
Vikings at Detroit.
Vikings at Detroit, thank you. And I'll be going to Philly at the Jets. So we'll be giving away some prizes, some merch while we're there. So
how did Philly get the Jets?
I don't know, honestly. I think it was a record thing, maybe.
Your guys' schedule is BS. It's the easiest thing. It's a cakewalk.
Obviously, it's not easy because we can't even beat the freaking Giants. So how is it easy or is it really? I mean,
that's
Giants
true. Fine, touche.
Yeah, exactly. It should be easy. We can put up 40 points on the Saints and the number 1 run defense, but we can't score more than 7 points against the New York
we beat them too, so don't get too excited.
I'm not excited. I'm just saying. We could have crushed you guys. It was a joke. I'm still mad.
I don't know. I got nothing on you. I I was shocked, to be honest.
You
I took the Giants money line. I'm not gonna lie because I don't believe that you
win on the
guys.
show.
Like, I do believe it, but I don't believe that you're as good as you've been playing. Just because I think there's some dysfunction more from like a coaching standpoint than there really is from like the players. But I did take the money line, but I thought you guys were gonna end up. I didn't put that much on it. Like, I figured we were gonna get our asses whooped.
Yep, me too. Apparently not. Here we are. I'm a miserable human being. All right, moving on. We have a cool segment this week on Every Day is Draft Day. We have our Boost Ball Round 3 coming up, starting soon, this coming week, I believe. So we're going to review some Boost Ball 3 lineups, Steph and I. 3 Boost Ball 3 lineups, and we're going to break them down and see who the best team is. What do you say, Steph? Ready to go for that?
All right, let's do it.
All right. The first one is from Fantasy Football Guy. That's quite clever. All right, at QB, he has Josh Allen and Carson Wentz. At running back, he has Jonathan Taylor and Cordell Patterson. Wide receiver, he has a couple of Jeffersons, Justin Jefferson and Van Jefferson. Also, Jalen Waddle. At tight end, he has Pat Freiermuth and Dawson Knox and Zach Ertz. And then kickers, Nick Folk, and the defense is the Buffalo Bills. So overall, what do you think? What do you think about this team?
I actually like this team a lot. I think there's a lot of available points for this team. I love the fact that they were able to get Taylor and Patterson is great. Also, Van Jefferson doing phenomenal. He's obviously filled that role where the gaps were that we were not sure how that was going to play out. So I'm a big fan of that. I think that as much as I like the 2 quarterbacks, there's definitely a potential there to get a little risky. But overall, I actually like this roster.
I agree. I like it a lot. I think you have a lot of it's a really high ceiling roster with Taylor, Patterson, right. Allen, Jefferson. Even Van Jefferson's been doing really well. Waddle, Freiermuth should be the head guy now with what's his face injured, Ebron. Yeah, and Ertz is doing well in Arizona as well. So out of the gate, I really like this team. I think it has the potential to do really well.
Right. And Justin Jefferson is heating up. He is someone that has, for some reason, gone unspoken a little bit and is just doing very well these past couple weeks. He also has a fairly easy schedule coming up. So I'm excited to see what he's able to do the rest of the season. Also doesn't have a bye week, so I think I really like that pick, especially those 2 running backs. The ceiling between those 2 guys, Patterson and Taylor,
geez. 1,000 points.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 points. All right. Coming up for team number 2, we have King Karam. His team consists of Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers at QB. His running backs are Kareem Hunt and Cordell Patterson. And then his wide receivers are Devonta Adams, Cooper Kupp, and Jalen Waddle. His tight ends are Rob Gronkowski. Oh, flex, I'm sorry. And then flex is Devontae Smith and Ty Johnson. His kicker is Greg Joseph of the Vikings, and his defense is Miami. What do you think about this team?
I have a few bones to pick.
Oh, no.
My first bone to pick is Greg Joseph. Can you just get rid of him? Please don't do that to yourself. Please do not pain yourself. He is guaranteed to miss. He's going to miss. He's not that good. That's all I have to say. There's probably still cheap options there that are very reliable. Graham Gano, I know, is not an expensive option. He is a very accurate kicker. I know I sound like a homer right now, but that's the first guy that's coming to my mind. But Greg Joseph, there's a lot of volatility there. I just am not a fan. I personally stay away from him. But again, it's kicker. It's not the end of the world, right?
Right.
Dolphins defense has looked very good, so I don't have any complaints other than hope they don't regress back to playing like the beginning of the season. And then I like the quarterbacks. Quarterbacks, great choices. And I think my only thing is the running backs maybe make me a little worried. Like Ty Johnson makes me a little worried, and Kareem Hunt with the way that the Browns have been playing, I'm a little iffy. But again, there's nice floor. This is a nice floor team.
Right. Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think that this team is really relying on, its receivers with, Devontae and Cooper to carry it, has that nice stack with Rogers and Adams. Gronk is good. I mean, he has good games, but he has some games where he doesn't play as well. I'm worried about Devontae Smith because he just isn't targeted enough for some reason by Jalen Hurts. In the last two drives against the Giants, he wasn't targeted at all. And
Mhm.
he's your best guy, and he's getting open, and he still gives him the ball for. I don't like Ty Johnson at all, to be honest. I don't trust the Jets running game whatsoever. Greg Joseph is a kicker, so it's whatever. I mean, there are better options available, and Dolphins are solid. And Kareem Hunt is also like a hit or miss with Chubb there, and even Ernest Johnson. You just don't know the kind of work that Hunt's going to get on a game to game basis. So it's a decent floor team, but it's definitely has a couple more question marks than maybe the first team had.
Yeah. And Waddle, I love what Waddle's been doing. I believe. Do they still have a bye week? They still have a bye week. I know they have the Giants, who are, again, I sound like a homer every time I bring them up, but they are playing well. They're not allowing a lot of points to receivers, so that might be 2 weeks there that you don't, you have to count in the bye, count in. I don't know who else Miami has, but that's another one that I might look at.
Right. Also, the Eagles will have a bye in there too, so Smith will be available for that time. The Dolphins have the Giants next, then the Jets, the Saints, the Titans, and the
Okay, never
Patriots.
mind. I bite my tongue. Keep Waddle in.
Never mind.
Never mind.
It turned out to be okay. All right, so moving on, our final roster for consideration is Jeff Till Death. These guys just have some cool names. All right, so his roster is Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert at QB. His running backs are James Conner, your guy, and Joe Mixon. His receivers are Debo Samuel, ouch, Jerry Judy, and Michael Pittman. His tight end is Hunter Henry. His flex players are Jalen Waddle. Everyone likes Waddle. And Michael
I know.
Hardman. And his kicker and defense are Matt Gay and the Rams defense. So what do you think about this team?
I like this team outside of, if you're gonna go right, you have Debo, right?
Right.
Makes me a little nervous having Debo with Judy, Pittman, and Hardman, because I feel like there's a lot of boom bust factor there.
Mhm.
But outside of that, I actually am a fan. I think you're also relying a lot on Rams defense to go back to Rams defense because they have not been playing well. But outside of that, I think it's a good. I actually do like this team.
Yeah, I think this is the weakest receiver bunch of the three.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the running backs. I think Connor and Mixon are really solid.
Me too.
They're the guys that they're going to get the work. Lamar Jackson and Justin Herbert are awesome. Mike Pittman is solid. The Rams D is good, and Matt Gay has been a terrific kicker all year. But I just can't. I think that the overall weakness of the receivers is really something I question.
Yeah, I might pull. I would maybe have pulled out a receiver and thrown in another running back to flex, maybe,
Right.
or a little bit someone else with a little bit more less volatility. Like Hardman
Yeah.
makes me a little nervous, and
Right. Even the Rams defense, like the Rams have games against like the Cardinals, the Seahawks, the Ravens. Like they have some tough, the potential high scoring games coming up that might not be as good of a defense as we all think they are.
Mhm.
They have the obviously of the Jaguars. It's going to be it should be a layup, I should say. I don't think guaranteed, but Vikings. So I mean, it's a solid team. I just don't particularly like the receiving core. I think they could do better.
Yeah.
So now we rank each team from first to third. So which one is your favorite team out of the three?
Definitely the first one. I think that it's the safest while also having the highest ceiling too. So you have a lot of floor that also usually always every week these guys are usually peaking past what the predicted points are for them. So I definitely like that first team and all the options that are on there.
I agree. I think that overall it has the most consistent team. I think that with the Taylor and Jefferson and Allen, it's a great team. I think the triple tight end with the flexes is interesting. It's interesting roster construction. You don't see many triple tight end rosters in
Unless it's my
this kind of
team.
league. Right, yeah, unless it's your team, which like if you have like eight tight ends, everyone's a tight end.
Hey, don't say anything because listen, I have a new rule too. Like, I am never playing two quarterbacks in Superflex, and since I
Uh,
started doing that, I'm kicking everyone's butt, and it's awesome.
when you don't play two quarterbacks in
I
Superflex,
don't. I do
you don't.
occasionally, depending on if I need to. But like, I would honestly rather lately, like with the way Ertz has been playing in some of these, I don't mind throwing a tight end in there that I know is going to get 20 plus points. When all of a sudden we've got a bunch of these. This is a weird year where quarterbacks are just randomly not performing that well. Like last
Yeah.
week, Brady got me like 15 points. Like so, fantasy wise, he was not great.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
no, I
that's
agree.
my little rant.
That's the rant of the day. I was waiting for it. It was like, we're
Yeah,
getting
I
close to
usually
the
have
end.
one. This is like a therapy session for
That's
me.
it. Yeah. But no, I think that makes a good point. Just because it's Superflex doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a QB. There are other options that could, have a good potential to good games. Don't ignore those good options just because you have to think you have to have a QB there. You don't. So what about your second favorite out of the teams?
They're pretty even for me, these next two, I would say. The last team probably makes me the most nervous, but the second team, I like their wide receiver options there. So that's what's going to make me lean towards it. That's really honestly the only reason why I would pick one over the other.
Yeah, I I think it's really close. I think that Team Three definitely has the better running backs. But Team Two definitely has the better receivers. So it's really more of like which one do you prefer? Personally prefer the receivers. I think that Adams and Cup are better than Connor and Mixon overall. So I would lean towards having King Karam's team second, and then Jeff Death's third. But it is pretty close. It's more a wish you prefer thing over each is one is obviously better than the other.
Yeah,
We have a comment. We have Cards to Riches says I won with triple tight end years ago.
love it.
Graham, Grunk, and Thomas when Manning was on the Broncos. Wow,
I
I
love
haven't heard
it.
of Tom. I haven't heard Thomas in a long time. That guy was a beast for a while, and then
The
just disappeared.
amount of tight ends I start in some leagues, like I'll have to report back on Thursday when we have our next show. I'm
Mhm.
gonna look and see how many tight ends I've started in one week, like what league, because there was a couple weeks that I did just fine. I have Kelsey, Pitts, you name it, Henry, Ertz. I got them all on my team. Like people thought I was crazy. I don't care. That's like essentially how
Well,
I zero RB is. I just heavy tight end.
mhm.
I'd rather have tight ends because when a team is able to utilize a tight end, the points are there no matter what. They're there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we don't need to think you're crazy. We know you are.
Yeah,
But that's
true.
that's the point.
Fine.
Uh, yeah, but it's an interesting way to build a roster. I mean, you don't see really any teams that go tight end heavy. At least they don't admit it anyway. They think they're going to be shamed if they say they go heavy tight end. I'm like, except for you don't give a shit
Well,
either
I'm
way.
not normal.
Exactly. But yeah, having if you have like a Kelsey or a Waller a couple of years ago when he first broke out, like that's a league winner right there. Especially like somewhere like this year when everyone else is pretty much getting hurt. If you have a chance to get consistent producers that stay healthy, you're really in a good place to compete for your league championship.
Yeah, feel it.
But one other thing mentioned about Team One that I failed to mention that does make me nervous is that the Colts do have a bye week in there, so Wentz won't be available. So that's going to be a big deal. But I don't think it's enough to drop them out of first. I just thought I needed to mention that.
No. Unless you're moving to like maybe like a little bit cheaper of an option to improve like another area in your
Yeah.
roster.
Right. Yeah. Then I just wouldn't worry about that specific week and take the points afterwards.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of Every Day is Draft Day. As Steph mentioned before, we will be coming in on Thursday for our second show of the week. We'll be
Yes.
having Jeff Hasley of Football Guys talking about some player props. So that'd be cool. Our first guest.
Woo!
So
First of
excited.
many. We want to start
First of
doing that.
many. We do. We do need to start doing that. It'll be a lot of fun. Jeff's a really, really good friend. We have some good times with him, so it'll be great. to
He's
talk to
awesome.
him.
Very bright football mind.
Absolutely. Yeah, he's a genius. So, Steph, let everyone know where they can follow you if they don't
I
know
just
by
got a
now.
notification that I get out of Twitter jail in 16 hours and 4 minutes.
That
Um,
reminds me, I have to report your account so you stay in jail longer.
Yeah, so you guys can find me right now on at Burner Smalls with 3 L's, but in 16 hours and 4 minutes, I will be back on at Steffi Smalls with 3 L's. You can find all my stuff at Champions Round. Again, like we said, we have a show on Thursday. My show, Smalls Talks Balls, is tomorrow. And yep, everything else, it's all on Champions Round.
Yep. You can find me on Twitter at EagleDanFF. We also have our Gambling with Gold show, I believe, is tomorrow. We're also going to be pretty active on TikTok leading up to the games that we're both going to. So be sure to check those out for sure to get some details on how you can win that cool stuff that we have coming up. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching, and you all have a great day.
See ya.
I'm a miserable human being.